Hello, I'm Jen. So this morning, what I'm going to show you in this video is really how obsessed I am with oats. I have lots of steel cut oats here. Oats is like my simple go-to breakfast every morning. Maybe not every morning, maybe like 3 times a week. Sometimes I have it for lunch, sometimes I have it for dinner. I have friends and family saying that they're not sure why I'm so obsessed with it. I think my friend calls it horse food. With my raw oats for my busy morning, I'll just have like 3 or 4 tablespoonful of raw oats together with almond milk. There are a lot of plant-based milk, but I think I'll keep that to another video. It has actually a lot of nasties, a lot of oil in most of the plant-based milk. So I kept to this. So far, it's been my favorite. It tastes delicious. No sugar because this is the unsweetened one. Of course, if you want sugar, the original one contains cane sugar. But this doesn't have with almond milk, they don't have oil. And I know the rage is in oat milk these days, and there's a lot of oil in oat milk. So although I like the taste of oat milk, yeah, I can't unless I make it on my own, which I haven't tried. I can't get over the fact that I'm drinking oil. So steel cut oats is slightly more nutritious, I would say, because it is less processed as compared to the raw oats. Of course, there is another type of oats which I don't have with me right now. Actually, I never buy it, so I will never have it with me. But it is your instant oats, right? So your instant oats, your quick cooking oats, right? So imagine that, this is less processed, this is a little bit more processed, and then followed by your instant oats, which is more processed than this. When the original oats grouts, they call it, um, the outer shell is being removed. The grouts is then chopped up a little bit like cut up rice. So this is the first process. So I'm no expert here, so I might be like saying the wrong term here, but bear with me. So this raw oats is then steamed and then rolled. That's why it's like flat, right? I'm sure you guys have seen one. So what I normally buy is the old-fashioned rolled oats, right? Which is a little bit thicker. One of the biggest difference between these two oats is their cooking time, right? So raw oats, you can usually eat it raw, get softened, in whatever liquid that you put it in. But for steel cut oats, actually, I don't know if you can not cook it. But I know some people use it as like toppings on top of pies. But for me, you do need to cook this quite a bit, right, to get it softened. And some people cook it with milk, any kind of milk. I cook it with just water. Why I like it? It's actually really nutritious and it fills me up, right? It's a quick and easy sort of breakfast to have that gives you the energy in the morning. I do intermittent fasting on a couple of days a week. I used to do it every day, but I feel like, some days that I kind of really need to eat something before I start my class. So these the oats really, if I have nothing else in the fridge or perhaps I'm just too lazy to cook up something, this the oats are my go-to. I'm gonna show you how and what I usually do with steel cut oats. It's super simple, it's a no-brainer. Maybe it could be really tasteless for many, but I like it. You can see that it has expanded. This was how it began, and then now each of the grouts has expanded. I like this maple syrup. Again, it's also from iHerb. So I put in about maybe a tablespoon of maple syrup. If you don't have maple syrup, honey. If you choose not to put any sweetener, it's also fine. Put in some sunflower seeds. pumpkin seeds. This was introduced to me years ago by a really good friend. I buy it from iHerb. Actually, I don't know where else sells this. I buy the big one. I love it. So mine is finishing. Time to get a refill. If you can smell this, it's just powdered form, right? Powdered peanuts, roasted peanuts, sugar and salt. If you actually have a look at the sugar content, it is not a lot. There is zero oil, which is actually the biggest problem of peanut butter. It is not cheap. Actually, I don't quite remember how much it is. I could go check it out. It goes with lots of things. It is great in smoothie as well. You can tell I'm not measuring everything. Yeah, I'm too lazy. So it's not going to be 2 servings. I'm just probably going to put like a teaspoonful just for taste. And I have some blueberries, which I've washed and cleaned. Dried mulberries, they look like little pine cones. Very importantly, they got to be put in the fridge because humidity in Singapore is not great for many things, many produce. And I didn't put in the fridge when I first had it years ago when I discovered the dried mulberries, and I love it in cereal. So I didn't put it in the fridge, and it had little worms in it, so it wasn't pleasant. So remember, it has to be in the fridge. And even steel cut oats. When the bag is open, I tried to leave it out in the pantry again. It didn't quite work. Yeah. I don't know why it didn't quite work, but anyway, now I keep it in the fridge because maybe I'm not eating fast enough. For the raw oats, I eat it a little bit more regularly, and sometimes I do see weavers even, but so far so good. Yeah, so far this is fine in the pantry, but if your fridge has enough space, mine doesn't, it's not so high. The shelves are not so high. So if your fridge has space, I think this as well lives better in the fridge. I think being in this climate, it's not great for a lot of produce. Same goes for the sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. So when I open a bag, I try not to put too much in that is constantly open and closing, the containers constantly open and closing. I do see that they get a little bit, I don't know, not great. Yeah, so you gotta eat it quite fast. So good morning. This big bowl is gonna fill me up for hours and hours. It's 9 in the morning, and I probably won't need to have a much of a lunch because this is enough. I hope you enjoyed this little sharing on what I do or what I have for breakfast in the morning. And I hope you'll try steel cut oats and tell me all about it.